What's going on, everybody? Daniel back here, back at you with a brand new video. And yeah, by the title of the thumbnail you can tell what happened to the Supra. Oops. But oh my goodness. Okay, well, okay, got the hood up. You can see there what kind of happens as I explain basically what just happened. Okay, so today I was just like, oh, I want to go take the Supra out for a drive. Let me just go out for a drive, even though the tires look like that, but it's okay. Started driving, went second gear, gave it more gas than I probably should have. So we did, it was 75, 80, of course, on the highway, just doing highway speed. No, it was not on the highway, don't worry about it. Then I look behind me and I see a big puff of smoke. And when you see a big puff of smoke, there's multiple reasons you have a big puff of smoke. But when you have a car this old, a project car, you assume the absolute worst. And it was. So basically what happened is the oil, which one was contaminated of some sort. It was bad. I shouldn't even have driven it. So that's one mistake on my part. The motor has to come out, so there will be a whole rebuild on the motor, because it was going to come out probably eventually, but now it's inevitably actually going to come out of the car, be fully rebuilt, be fully done and good, and all of this is going to be fully done and rebuilt now. But this right here, these two little holes, ow, and it sits flush and it sits in those two holes. That's how it's supposed to sit. In these two holes over here, supposed to sit there flush. I don't know if it's this one or another one, but it's supposed to sit there and essentially not let this explosion happen in the way that it happened. And I believe with, yeah, I think I broke this too, with the explosion of the oil coming out of everywhere, and the fact that it was kind of milkshaky from my dad, that he was following me, saw the smoke, we pulled over, and then we ended up towing the car back home. The Supra, after all of this, is the motor is going to come out. We have everything to do it, and by everything I mean the ability to take it out. But now it's just going to be a process of building the motor back up to be daily drivable, and it's, you know, maybe a good 400-ish horsepower, good 400 horsepower. Redo the body, obviously do the block and the motor, but yeah, the whole future plan now for this car, which was originally the plan, but now is going to be slightly detoured and a little bit more fun, maybe more difficult of a process now, is essentially, so basically I'm going to take the motor out. The motor's going to come out, obviously. Everything in here now is going to be, there's going to be new injectors, new spark plugs. Everything is going to be much better now to fit this beautiful motor, and make it maybe have like 500 to the crank and maybe 450 to the wheels, or something along those lines, to have good horsepower but still be fun to daily drive, because I don't want this car to be like undaily drivable. 100% my fault that it did break, but now I have an excuse to pull the motor out, I guess. There was a piece of water on the headlight. It looked like the car was crying. But I believe my dad said there's something else that did break, but you can kind of see all the oil that literally, like, so basically I was driving and I was in second gear, and then the gear was like 50 or so, and so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him just a little bit more gas. So I did. I give him more gas. Went to third, was in third, going up here. The car needs an alignment, because I was holding it this way. The car wanted to go this way. I was trying to hold it this way. It was pretty chaotic, but I kept going and trying to hold it. And then all of a sudden, I look behind me, and there's just a giant cloud of smoke. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So I'm like, oh, well, looks like something really bad just happened. And I see that instead I'm sitting about here, I was dropping drastically, and I'm like, oh, that's great. So we pulled off into a road, and I just plopped the car into neutral and let it roll, and then it was just done. It just didn't want to turn on. Now I'm just waiting for it to be cool to see if it will, what it will do again, to see if it will turn over or if it will do anything. But to be honest, I'm scared to keep messing it up. But taking the motor out, and now it's truly going to be something actually super duper crazy. This car is going to exceed my expectation for sure now. Everything's going to be changed now 100%. Alright, so it's been about a day or two since the last clip that I was showing. I really don't remember what I was talking about. But the car was sitting there where Frederick, my car, is sitting right now. Able to push it into the garage. The car did start, but it would not stay on long enough. So it would turn over, but the moment it would turn over, it would just lose RPM. It would just cut off itself. And then a few days, this is about 2 days after now, because that clip was Sunday when it did blow up, and now today is Tuesday. So here's, I was cleaning up a little bit. You can still see it looks honestly worse. But I cleaned up here. You can kind of see it's not super covered as it did. This here is all still. I don't know if the alternator might have gotten ruined. I mean, it's coming out anyway, so it's not like a super big deal. Like this whole front bumper, this whole front area is literally, I think to pull this motor out, I know the hood obviously is gonna come off, but I don't know if this front bumper has to come off. It might, but I'm not sure. That got burned in the process, which could have been very bad. Very, very fast. Is this sensor right here that goes to the turbo, which is wet-ish. So the turbo's right here, obviously, and then this is maybe like some type of sensor for the turbos, you know, whatever. And essentially this is the wire for the turbo, and you can see it's a little bit crispy. Just a little bit, of course, which goes here to here, which this whole thing is actually broken here, which I'm pretty sure, I actually don't even know how this wire is supposed to sit, to be honest. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to sit up to make it not be burned, but that burned. Okay, so basically, I believe I found where it sat, and I don't know why it came out in the first place, or when we took it out. But if it was here, this wouldn't have been, it may have happened, but it would have least likely happened with the oil, and it could have still happened. Something else could have blown up anyways. So basically it would have sat here. Somehow these would have connected, probably some piece of rubber or whatever that is called again. That would have sat in there like that, bolt in there, sitting in there, and then this little nipple right here that's closed off, this would have sat through here, and then this pipe here, which is still connected to this here would have sat to this thing that's closed off right there where my finger is. That right there, which is the turbo, I believe this is the air filter. Oh, and then this pipe here, which is connected again to this, would have sat in there. And then these two little guys here, they're supposed to be a piece of thing, and they sit together like that, where that connects into that. That is exactly how that's supposed to be, and it was not there. And that caused oil to bust everywhere. Interesting. Right. Then I think we would have to, I think maybe if we drain the oil again, and then, well, obviously draining whatever's left, if there's any left in there, drain it, re-put it in, like put new ones in, put that pipe in, and maybe it would still be good, but the chances of it still being good are like 0. So who knows? Maybe it still started up, but it just doesn't want to. It's not happy to be on. But maybe it can still be good. And I didn't show it, but that blue wire from that was burned, that sits on that as well. That has little clips that sit on there. So everything makes sense. Like some of it was just covered up, probably from who knows when we took that out, or I took that out. Probably me. Probably was me, and I covered it up. I was like, I don't know what it goes to, so I covered it up. But clearly, mistake now, because yeah. But I'm pretty sure that just clips right back in. But yep, that's basically how I was able to blow the Supra up.